Good morning and welcome to the Greenville Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sabrina Walker. Can you hear me now? Hello? Better? Now? Hello? Hello? Yes. Yay. Good morning and welcome to the Greenville Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sabrina Walker and I serve this congregation as trustee and part of the 75th Anniversary Committee. Whether you have been with us on Sundays for a long time or are visiting us for the first time today, we welcome you to our service. This congregation is diverse in beliefs, with participation open to all who agree to embrace our covenant, mission, and values, regardless of your partisanship or lack thereof. We are a welcoming congregation to people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, races, ethnicities, and abilities. We unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self to our community of care, spiritual growth, and personal growth. Our congregational mission is to strengthen our connections to one another and our planet by enlivening minds and spirits, building community through liberating love, and advocating fiercely for justice. It is custom in this congregation to acknowledge visitors and newcomers. If it's your first time here, would you mind raising your hand so that we can acknowledge you? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. You can pick up the green mug in the fellowship hall, and we will surround you and welcome you. All are invited to join us for coffee after the service. New and newish folks are invited to grab a green mug located just inside the door of the fellowship hall so we can easily spot you and speak to you during our coffee hour. You are also welcome to fill out one of the gold cards located in the pew in front of you, so you can stay informed regarding all of our activities. Simply drop the card in the offering basket or in the box at the hello table in the foyer. Please know that whatever your religious history, whatever your spirituality, all people of goodwill are welcome here. Your presence makes us better. Your presence makes us whole. Before our service begins, you all have noticed that we have a guest with us today who was our performer last night. Did y'all like it? Priscilla will introduce him in a little bit, but now our service will begin.
Good morning. I'm Priscilla Phillips, and I'm your worship associate for the day. And I serve this congregation as worship associate as part of the Sunday Services Committee, and I'm also on the 75th Anniversary Committee, and we have a lot going on this year for our 75th anniversary. And I'd like to introduce you first, before I do the chalice lighting, to my friend Pat Wictor, who's our guest musician and speaker today, and tell you a little bit about Pat. I go to SUSE every summer. That's the Southeast UU Summer Institute that meets in various college campuses in the Southeast. I have been going since 1987. That is a long time. I have known generations. And I love the musicians. I follow all the musicians. We have a wonderful group of musicians that come every summer, new ones, some that have been coming for 25 or 30 years. So I met Pat probably about 15 years ago when he started coming to SUSE. And as I said, I follow the musicians closely. I listen to all of them every night I'm up there, so I know them all fairly well. And Pat comes to us from Brooklyn, New York, where he lives with his wife, Ellen, another person that I've met at SUSE. He's come to help us celebrate our 75th anniversary this weekend. And if you weren't here last night, you missed a wonderful concert that I think many people that are here today enjoyed. And you're going to get to hear him again today. So we're thrilled to have him here at Goof. I know that. We're thrilled to have him this weekend. But he's also a music educator. He goes to various education venues and camps doing his music. He's also was a part of a group called Brother Son that some of you might have heard about. But at SUSE, there are all these different musicians. And so 3 wonderful musicians gathered together and formed the group Brother Son, and they toured together several years, and Pat was a part of that delightful group. Now he tours mainly solo and with a variety of duos, and performs all over the country with his music. So I'd like to welcome him today to Goof and thank him for coming all the way from Brooklyn to be here to help us celebrate our anniversary. And now I'm going to light the chalice. The reading today is Beacon of Freedom by Tracy Johnson. We kindle our chalice flame this morning, awakening the fire of our ancestors in our hearts. Beacon of freedom held out to light the way, light of reason illuminating the path, spark of courage igniting our spirits, aglow with hopes for all that we endeavor to do together. Holy flame of times past, brighten this present moment, that we may be the love that is our center and our foundation both. Blessed be.
Might have been raised on this block, might have wandered here from far. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, don't need no ID, you don't need no membership card. Don't you know you're always welcome? be a rich man's son. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you've done, when you got nowhere to hide, you got nowhere left to run. Don't you know you'll find shelter in my Father's house? When you're lonely and discouraged, misery has no end. When you need a helping hand, no one wants to lend. When heaven's just a word, when heaven's close at hand, don't you know you'll find shelter in my Father's house? When you're mistreated in this world like a stranger in your own land, when the chains around your heart are just too much to stand, when heaven's just a word or heaven's close at hand, come and lay your burden down now in my Father's house. Don't you know you'll find shelter in my Father's house? Don't you know you're always welcome in my Father's house?
The call to worship today is Honor and Understand Our Lives by Judith Mannheim with a quote from Lao Tzu. We gather together in this space to honor and understand our lives. We bring our pasts and would share them, our dreams and would express them. We use words, song, silence, and gesture. Words cannot define our lives, but they enable us to reach out to each other, to tell and to listen, that we may be renewed, connected, unburdened. Apprehend with wonder the lives of those around you, for from wonder into wonder, existence opens.
Years of this congregation is a story that you all are writing. So this is a song that you all can sing along. It's a very simple call and response. Those of you who were at the concert last night got a little practice at it. So when I sing the first line, you sing, "How will they tell it?" It goes like this. When the story of our time is told, how will they tell it? Try it. How will they tell it? And the second line is, will they say that we were brave and bold? How will they tell it? Try it. How will they tell it? That's pretty much the whole song. You got the hang of it. Did our conscience stir much too sheds more light. The story now is ours to write. How will they tell it? How will they tell it again? How will they tell it? How will they tell it? Good morning. I'm David Funderburk. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at GOOP. And we're taking a little break from our Sunday morning religious education classes for kids and youth for the month of June. We're taking a break from our religious education classes for the month of June. As a result, there aren't quite as many kids today as we've had the past few weeks. So when I invite children or youth or anyone of any age to come up and hear the story up close, come on up here to make sure there's a little bit of a critical mass here so I don't feel so alone. Welcome. So our story today, the theme today is to take the long view and to think about how can we create things that are going to last for a long time. So I picked the story Nell Plants a Tree by Ann Winter and Daniel Miares. Do any of you enjoy climbing trees? Have you ever thought about how long, if you have a good climbing tree, it's like a good big tree, right? Have you ever thought about how long those trees have to be around before it can be a good climbing tree? Yeah. Someone had to think to plant that tree a long time ago. Before a grip on a branch and a fall to the ground and a scrape and a leap and a reach for the top, before anyone finds out how high they can climb, Nell picks up a seed. Before a hush and a point at a nest filled with eggs, and a crack in a shell, and a beak pipping through, before anyone watches 3 chicks hatching free, Nell buries a sprout. Before last place, as always, then 4th place, then 2nd, arms driving, toes gripping, hands stretched to the trunk. Before anyone wins for the very first time, Nell waters the soil. Before a too noisy den, and a too squeaky chair, and a too scratchy field, and a too muddy bank. Before anyone finds the best spot to get lost, Nell lets in the sun. Before sacks of pecans, and a crack, and a crunch, and a roll, and a press, and a mix, and a pour, and a peek in the oven, a shoo from the kitchen, a blue baking timer that finally dings, before anyone takes the first bite of warm pie, Nell digs a hole. Now we got a little hint there as to what kind of tree Nell planted in that last page. Can anyone guess? It's a pecan.
before treasures to find, like a long strip of bark, and a shell, and a stone, and a leaf flecked with holes, and a slender white root sprouting from a pecan. Before anyone asks what to do with a seed, Nell plants a tree. That grows and grows and grows. Now I wonder if you can guess which person in this picture is Nell. The old lady on the right? Yeah. So I wonder how we all can be more like Nell and think about what seeds can we plant that maybe we won't get to enjoy. Maybe Nell won't get to climb that tree, but many people will. So thank you for listening, and thanks for coming up.
Today is Share the Plate Sunday. Half of today's offering will be shared with our community partner, Project Host. Project Host fights food insecurity in the greater Greenville area by feeding the hungry, training and educating the un- and underemployed, and paying it forward through social enterprises. Project Host believes that food is the main ingredient to ensure that individuals are healthy and thriving in their communities. If you're contributing to your pledge today, be sure to write pledge on your check or cash envelope. All other funds received will be split 50-50 with our Share the Plate recipient. Since this initiative emphasizes sharing, please do not write checks directly to the charity. The offering will now be greatly received.
Got plenty and then some. What do I do? Got plenty and then some. What do I do? Got plenty and then some. What do I do? Go on and help
It is a custom in this fellowship to share the joys and the sorrows that shape our lives, honoring each one with the lighting of a candle. We all have moments of celebration and of struggle. By sharing these experiences with one another, we can support and uplift each other on our journeys. The first joy today was from myself and my husband Steve, just saying it's been such a joy to have Pat Wictor here with us this weekend, to be able to share him with Goof, and I thank Sabrina for all she did to bring him here too, to help us get him here. With last night's concert and this morning's program, it's just wonderful to have you sharing your music here. And then we have, on a more sad note, we have from Victoria McGinnis, my good friend Bunny just passed away. Please send love and energy to her family. We will light one final candle representing all the joys and sorrows present in our hearts that remain unspoken. We will now observe a brief moment of silence before the meditation words begin.
The Church is a Body by Victoria Weinstein. The church is a body. May this body breathe and be together in the spirit of hope. May it feel held by comfort. Those who seek consolation, may they find it in the solace of this moment. The church is a body. It is as strong as all the people who have ever gathered within its walls. It is the power of all they dreamed and all that they have done. The church is a body. It is as vulnerable as the most newborn and untried of its members. It is ancient and it is ever new. The church is a story. It is the story of lives that are interwoven, brought together in this place and this time, for the simple purpose of caring for one another and helping one another along the arduous path from birth to death. The church is a vision. It is a vision of unity amid diversity. It is a vision of reverence for all of creation. It is a vision that beckons us beyond the concerns of our own skins. In the silence, may we abide as one body in the spirit of faith, hope, and love that is the story and the vision of this church.
When I wrote this song, I didn't think of it as a hymn, but it kind of is. And so I wanted to invite you all to sing along. This is how the chorus of the song goes. It's called, I Will Walk With You. I will take upon my shoulders your worries and your woes. Want to try that together. I will take upon my shoulders your worries and your woes. I will walk with you down your darkest road. Try it. I will walk with you down your darkest road. On your passage into shadows, you will not go alone. Let's try it. On your passage into shadows, you will not go alone. I will walk with you down your darkest road. Try it. I will walk with you down your darkest road. Got the hang of it. I am owner of no light, and I cannot be your guide. My eyes cannot see through the unknown. I will sure and steady stride through the darkness at your side. I will see to it that you don't go alone. I will take upon my shoulders your worries and your woes. I will walk with you down your darkest road. On your passage into shadows, you will not go alone. I will walk with you down your darkest road. When the briar and the thorn on your path are overgrown, and the dark heart of the wood is still ahead, I will swing the woodsman's blade for to clear the bramble shade, and make passage for your tired feet to tread. I will take upon my shoulders your worries and your woes. I will walk with you down your darkest road. On your passage into shadows, you will not go alone. I will walk with you down your darkest road. When at last your weary head takes the earth for its bed, I'll watch over your sleep until dawn. But now hearken to the trees, you can hear the night birds sing. Sing a song for wandering souls far from home. I will take upon my shoulders your worries and your woes. I will walk with you down your darkest road. On your passage into shadows, you will not go alone. I will walk with you down your darkest road. I will walk with you down your darkest road. Well, hello everybody. It's so great to see you all again. I saw so many of you and got to meet so many of you last night, and of course all of you I'm seeing and for the first time today. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm very honored to be included in your observance of the 75th anniversary of this congregation's founding. You have achieved something to be proud of. Many organizations and institutions don't survive the lifetimes or the leadership of their founders. To create something that's endured across generations is an accomplishment that nobody should underestimate. I don't know the full story of your congregation, and I won't purport to tell it to you. You who have lived it and know better than anyone how you got here and stayed here. But I want to offer some thoughts today from where I stand and from where I'm coming from. Some of what I'm going to say today might seem rather obvious. I've been called Captain Obvious more than once. But sometimes there's value in revisiting the obvious from a slightly different perspective. So I'm going to talk about what I see as 3 secrets of longevity. I grew up with a deep sense of the impermanence of things. I moved around a lot, all the way up until my mid-30s. When I was a kid, I was born abroad, and our family moved every year to every 4 years. I was always starting over. And as a young person, the idea that relationships outside my family might persist beyond a few years was almost unthinkable. I was born in Venezuela in 1966, eight years after the fall of a military dictatorship and the restoration of democracy. And as a small child, I can remember we'd be driving down the highway, and drivers would just be honking their horns, like randomly. Like not because there was any danger or anything like that. And these, by the way, these were not standard car horns. These were like really garish, prolonged, loopy melodies, the Marseillaise, and another favorite was La Cucaracha. You know, so people are just driving down the highway, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. We're listening, like, what's going on? So I asked my mother why, and what she said was that not long before, the military dictatorship had outlawed car horns. And so people used to bang the side of their cars to get other drivers' attention, since they couldn't honk their horns. So you could see there were dents on the driver's side of the car doors. With the dictatorship gone, the people celebrated with these outrageous, ridiculous car horns, blowing them as often as they liked as a celebration of freedom. And now Venezuela is struggling once again to be free, but the people who honked their horns like that are still there, working to free themselves once again. Nothing remains as it is. As Heraclitus famously said, no one ever steps into the same river twice. Even people and institutions that appear stable and enduring change and must change over time. So the question is only whether we're reluctant to face change or embrace it. I'm convinced that the organizations and institutions that persist across time, across generations, are the ones that are, I'm sure we can find exceptions, but for the most part, they're the ones that are flexible, responsive to changing conditions, and meet the challenges of change head on. I think the same also holds true of individuals. To not just persist, but to thrive and flourish, we need to accept that things will not stay the same and that we need to change with them. And that, to me, is one of the secrets of longevity. Another secret to longevity is that we can't do it alone. I wrote, "I will walk with you," when I was beginning to share my life with Ellen, the woman who would later become my spouse. And there were sorrows and fears that she had that I didn't fully understand. But what she taught me was that I didn't need to fully understand. She taught me that if I went through it with her, going through it together, she could face it, and we could handle anything that life threw our way. That was over 20 years ago, and we're still together. We're the same people, but we're also different. We're never stepping into the same river twice, but we're stepping in it together. Faith communities, I think, are founded on this principle that we can handle what life throws us if we do it together. It's in relationship that we practice all the virtues needed to build something lasting and generational. Creativity, generosity, listening, forgiveness, mutual support. It's in relationship that we invite the best of ourselves and the best of each other. And a last secret to longevity is perspective, which helps us to practice all the virtues that I mentioned a moment ago. So it's hard to make good decisions when every change is viewed as a crisis. I mentioned growing up with a sense of the impermanence of things. In this way, I was probably naturally inclined towards Stoic philosophy, which has sort of been one of the things I've been investigating philosophically. One Stoic technique is to seek new frames of reference, to shake us out of our assumptions and to see things in a new light. And so nature gives us some examples of how to reframe longevity. A long-lived human being reaches the age of 100. A California redwood can live up to 2,000 years. Glass sponges in the East China Sea have been estimated to live up to 10,000 years. And there are nematode worms in Russia that have survived in the permafrost up to 30,000 years. A specimen of Greenland shark was estimated to have lived from anywhere from 270 to 500 years, a single shark. Bowhead whales live up to 200 years. George the lobster, captured and taken to a seafood restaurant. I guess they named him to prevent someone from having him for dinner, I'm not sure. But he was taken to a seafood restaurant, and he was 140 years old when he was later freed and taken back to the wild. Meanwhile, our closest living primate relatives, the bonobos, basically live 40 years or less. Various species of octopus, truly intelligent creatures, rarely live past 5 years old. Most live 2 or 3 years. The mayfly lives only a day as an adult, although it can live up to 2 years as a larva. Extended childhood, short adulthood. So we humans, we are accustomed to measuring time according to our own typical lifespan. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a perfectly sensible thing to do. But when you reframe time, what it helps us to do is to see the importance of today and of our impact on generations to come. There's a song by this band that's you don't see much of these days, but they were big in the 1990s, called the Crash Test Dummies. And some of you remember them. And so there's a song titled, "I'm Outlived by That Thing." And the singer is surveying plastic items in a landfill, like a paperweight, and he sings, "Ha ha, I'm outlived by that thing," and stupid things like that. The decisions that we make right now can have impacts long after us, including what we put in the landfill. The Iroquois are well known to consider important decisions from the perspective of those 7 generations from now. The story of this congregation years from now is being written by you all in what you do today. The story of our country and our world is being written by all of us. We are its authors. We make choices not just for ourselves, but also for our extended human family that comes after us. So those mayflies and redwoods and George the lobster, they all have something to teach us. Thank you all for carrying on for 75 years. May the next 75 be a testament to your flexibility, your togetherness, your perspective, and all the great virtues that come from that. Thank you again for letting me celebrate with you. I appreciate it. Shall we sing? This is a song by my friend Dave Gunning. It's a song that Brother Sun sang, and I hope you all will sing it with us. It's called These Hands. And so the chorus goes like this. What shall I do with these hands of mine? Try it. What shall I do of mine? And then the same line again. What shall I do with these hands of mine? Let's try it again. What shall I do with these hands of mine? And this is going to go better like this.
If you'll please join me in the words that are up on the screen. They're no longer in the bulletin, and I know we kept saying that every Sunday, but they're up on the screen now, so. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our benediction for today, To Serve, to Grow, and to Love by Kent McCusick. In the name of all that is holy, may the connections between us inspire and sustain us. May the flame of life within us and amongst us be a sacred reminder that we are all called to service, to grow and to love as we continue this journey of transformation. Thank you.
Shall we sing one more time? You guys sounded great. Okay, this is an easy one to sing. 3 lines that are all the same and only one line's different. It goes like this. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Pretty easy, right? Some of you even got a little practice last night. So, all right, let's do it. It's better without glasses. You say your heart's been turned to stone. You say you wanna be left alone. You say love only made you weep and moan. Let me tell you something that you know in your bones. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Love is the water that wears down the rock. You say your soul's like a dry riverbed. Stopped waiting for the water long ago. You said you better pray all night for the rain instead. Love comes like a tidal wave over your head. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Love is the water that wears down the rock. You say waiting for love takes too long. Dulls a sharp mind, weakens the strong. Well, you may be right, but you may be wrong. 'Cause love can make a mountain come tumbling down. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Love is the water that wears down the rock. The river washes over every woman and man, feet in the gravel and mud in your hand. Nothing can stand against love's command. Every boulder turns into a grain of sand. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Love is the water that wears down the rock. I said love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. Thank you all so much. Go in peace.